We have my cousin Maddie, the daughter of Tony Suarez, on the line right now, and
Hello. Okay.
yeah.
Hi.
So thank you so much for doing this for us, Colleen, and we're so excited to listen to Mr. Burch.
Yes, unfortunately, his hearing aid is not working today, so get your phone back. But we've been talking about your questions, so he was going to answer your first question.
Okay, great.
It's me back. Where am I, Dad? Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's totally fine. But
Okay.
try to convey to him that we're so thankful for
Yes.
him doing this.
Well, I met Tony when they assembled the cruise, and we were in Florida, and they assigned us to crew members, and I met Tony for the first time there in Florida, outside Tampa, and along with all the other people, and including the pilots and everything. So we became a group, and from there we were transferred to Avon Park, Florida, where there was an air base that we would work together as a crew, and we spent a few months there flying practice missions. I think we flew some bomb missions with fake bombs.
Okay.
And some of the flights, if I remember right, they had some Bell aircraft, I forget the number, that were fighter planes that would pretend they were attacking us, and we would practice calling them out and pointing our guns at them, and apparently the fighter planes were practicing too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't remember if we had. I don't remember if we had. I can't hear.
I know. How about? How did y'all get across? Did you go? You didn't go on ship.
Oh, answer these questions.
Yeah. Okay, so you already answered that one. What about the ships? How did you get to Europe?
Oh, we picked up a brand new B-17 in Savannah, Georgia, and it was either Chatham Field or Hunter. I don't remember which one, because we've been to both. And we flew it up to Maine, and it was in the wintertime. And it snowed in there a couple days. And from Maine, we flew to not Nova Scotia, but I have to look at a map. But it was Canadian province in near Nova Scotia.
Okay.
And we were supposed to fly from there uh, to Iceland and stay overnight, get filled up, and then fly to Prestwick, Scotland. We got word that we had a tailwind over the Atlantic, and we could make the flight all the way without going to Iceland in the winter, which is good news.
Okay. Yeah.
It's amazing.
We were supposed to land in Prestwick, Scotland, where there was a air transport command, and the pilots were trying to get landing instructions, and the tower was speaking in English with a deep Scotch accent, and over the radio, nobody could understand the damn word they were saying. And so the pilots let everybody on the airplane listen to the landing instructions, and nobody could understand what they were saying.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
But the pilots figured we could make it down to, from Prestwick, Scotland, down to Valley, Wales, where there was an air transport command. So we flew south along the coast and came to Valley, Wales, and called the tower there, and the pilot still had everybody listening. And lo and behold, there was voices, female voices, with American accent, and we could understand every word they were saying. So we landed at Valley, Wales, instead of Scotland. At which point, we were just ferrying the airplane over. So they took our airplane away and gave it to whoever was supposed to get it. And we stayed there a few days till we got our assignment, and then we were transported by train to Sudbury, England, where was the bigger city near our field, which was outside of Sudbury, I think in an area that they called West Waldingfield. I think that's what they called it. We called it Sudbury by the sewer. It's supposed to be Sudbury on the south. That was our airfield, and we moved in, and maybe you noticed in the picture, the background, the picture you sent is a Quonset hut, a metal hut. That's kind of facilities we had. That was our rooms. The picture you have is where the enlisted men lived, and just maybe 50 feet away was the hut where the officers lived. So that was our home.
Wow.
Outside Sudbury, but there was the fields in England were just kind of built on the countryside, and there were actually homes where English people lived within the area of our field. Of course, not on landing strip areas. And there were, there was a couple of pubs. Well, there was one that I know of, yeah. And so that was about it. Of course, we were there in the winter. And but we didn't. I guess we flew our first mission, and well, you have a list of the missions, don't you?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, they started in February.
Yeah. They done them, yeah. One we flew them and where, yeah. And Tony's. I may have mentioned it. Tony was the armor governor, well, he was in charge of the armament, in charge of the bombs that were on the airplane. And the bombs, when we took off and were flying over the channel, were not armed. In other words, there was a pin you had to pull out of each bomb to arm them so that when they hit the ground, they would explode. And it was Tony's job to walk on a little platform about a foot wide and reach out over the reach out where the bombs were hanging and pull the pin out so that they'd be armed so that they would explode when they hit the ground. And that was kind of a precarious job because if he slipped and fell, he'd go all the way down. Not that the bomb bay doors were open, but if he fell on the bomb bay doors, they would fall open. Had to lean over, pull all the pins. If something happened that we aborted the mission, in other words, they said that don't bomb that mission, return to the air base, which didn't happen very often, but I think it happened once. It was Tony's job to go back into Bombay and put the pins back so that when we landed, get loose and blow us up. So that
well, I'm proof that he survived doing that.
Other than that, he manned the nose guns, also the gun turret there for any planes that we. Enemy planes that we encountered were in front of us. He had a electronic sight that he could look through, and the guns were kind of like in the chin turret. If you've seen the B-17, you saw the chin turret when he would operate those guns. And fire at anything coming at us. I don't recall anybody coming at our nose, so we never got a chance to shoot.
Tell about that time he got shrapnel.
Huh?
Tell about the time he got hit in his jacket. Remember when he got the shrapnel hit his jacket?
His jacket?
Yeah, remember when they hit his jacket?
They have his jacket?
No. Sorry. Remember when he got hit and it knocked him off his chair?
Oh.
Yeah, tell him about that story.
The target?
No, about
at the target area when we were coming into No, where we knew we were going to get flak.
Yeah.
You know what flak is, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Well, when we knew we were going to get in that, we had a jacket that looked like a catcher's, baseball catcher's vest, except that it had, it weighed about 60 pounds. It had metal pieces in the front and in the back. So you had to put that thing on. Like I said, weighing 60 or more pounds, so that in case you got hit the piece of flak, chances were pretty good that would stop it. It so happened that Tony did get hit in the chest,
Oh.
or chest protector, that knocked him off the stool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember him talking about that. He had mentioned. He did talk about that. Yeah. Yeah. But I think he also wrote it in his diary. Yeah.
Wow.
The one that got a scratch.
Right.
I got the stool shot out of my GI shoe, but I wasn't wearing them. I was wearing
Okay.
sheepskin boots that were warm, and I had the shoes, my shoes sitting behind me. A piece of flak knocked the heel off of them.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
A shoemaker for a good story after the war.
Oh, okay. You were showing that to everybody?
Yeah. But at any rate, I do believe Tony and I were the last two that was together in Savannah waiting to get shipped to the place for our discharge from the service. And I went to Rantoul, Illinois, because I lived in Michigan. And I don't know if Tony went to Illinois or probably went to New England somewhere for separation from the service. But that's the last time I saw Tony. That's it.
Did you fly back to the States in a B-17, or did you take a transport ship?
Did you fly back from Europe?
Yes.
In a B-17?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. We ferried it back. We flew. And we flew from our base. I think we flew directly from our base to Iceland. And we landed in Iceland. Of course, it was summertime, and so it was bearable. And then from there, we flew to Labrador, and it was good to see Labrador with no snow. And then we flew from there to I don't know, some field in New England. And
was it Bradley Field in Connecticut?
Bradley Field in Connecticut?
huh?
Bradley Field in Connecticut?
Bradley Field.
Yes.
Bradley Field. Yeah. Oh, okay. You guys know more than I do.
See?
Yeah.
So, after the combat missions ended, did you fly any humanitarian missions. I know that the bomb group did some of that.
Oh, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, after the war ended, I know that the 486 was flying humanitarian missions. Flying refugees around.
I don't think she did. You didn't do any more missions flying the refugees around, military missions.
No, they offered us all a job to stay in the service. And after the war ended, and as you might imagine, we all said no thanks.
Yeah, I wanted to go back home.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah. And I got sent from there. They sent me to Rantoul, Illinois, where I was separated.
Okay.
Because I lived in the Midwest. I lived in Detroit. And I don't know where they sent Tony. I don't know if he went there. Probably went to some place in New England to be separated. Maybe you know.
Yeah, we're not. I don't think we know.
I don't.
Yeah, he probably went. Well,
Yeah.
New York was his home. So
We're talking. We'll work this stuff on the phone. And we'll come. Yeah. Sorry. They were telling us about the party.
oh, that's
Yeah, no, he would have been. He went after the war. He went to New York, but I don't know where he would have gone to be separated.
He went to New York, but she didn't know where he went to be separated.
You separated in New York?
Well, she doesn't know that, but that's where he ended up.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So did y'all know that he was an interpreter for radio stations?
No.
Oh no.
Okay, tell him about how he interpreted.
Oh, when Tony, as you probably know, was from Spain.
Right.
And he
Right.
spoke fluent Spanish, and they had the Americans had a propaganda radio that transmitted into Spain. Spain was not in the war, and I guess we didn't want them in the war. I don't know which side of Spain at that time would have been on. Yeah. And so Tony would speak in Spanish on the American radio system transmitted to Spain, and what his messages were, I don't know. The government probably told him what to cover.
Uh-huh. Oh, so he was doing this as a broadcast, like a propaganda broadcast?
Yeah.
Oh, he must have done that 10 or 15 times, and I remember get called up to go talk.
Ah.
Wow, that's something new. We didn't know.
Oh, cool.
Oh, wow.
That's all I know.
So,
That's great. Thank you so much.
Said that they were just like family, you know.
If I have one more thing, there were a few of us on our crew that were Catholic, and I believe Tony was one of them, and we would receive communion before each mission, and I believe Tony was one. I know our pilot was another one, and myself, and the Earth Runner, and I think Tony was one too.
Yes, I do remember him talking about that.
Yes,
Yeah.
she told them that.
Yeah. So, other than that, well, as you know, and I don't need to tell you, Tony was a perfect gentleman. No,
Thank you.
so that's all. And by the way, I appreciate that picture you sent me. I had it and I've lost it. So when you sent me that,
We framed it and put it on the wall.
I think I had it. Yeah, we had it enlarged, and I got it hanging on the wall, and I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, great.
Oh,
I'm right, but not Tony.
Yeah.
Can you tell us some more about like the rest of the crew, like the pilots and the other crew members? Things you knew about them?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, if he could share things about the rest of the crew, you know, the pilots and the other crew members, that would be cool.
Pilots or any of the other crew members?
Oh, the other crew members?
I know they played poker, but they said Tony never did.
Ball turret gunner Eddie Marr lived in New York City, and he also was one of the Catholics, and he took a job with Gulf Oil, and he was a very intelligent guy. Now, he didn't go to college after the war. The ball turret gunner, Eddie Marr, he worked his way up in the company, where he was, Gulf Oil, yeah, where he was in charge of real estate for them. And he retired, and me and my wife were on a trip up to New England. We looked him up. He's the only one I had any clue of how I could find him. And by that time, he had retired from Gulf Oil and was living up near Kelly-Bunkport, on a small lake, but not on the ocean. And you're familiar with Kelly-Bunkport?
Yeah, in Maine. Yeah, my daughter lives the next town over from there.
His daughter lives over by there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
What about, tell us about Pilot.
Okay, then the only pilot, Bill Moran, he was the first pilot. Oliver Hempel was the co-pilot. Oliver Hempel stayed in the service. He signed up for, instead of getting out, he signed up for training in night fighters. I lost contact with him, but I noticed years later somebody making mention of a General Hempel. And I wonder if it wasn't the same guy, and I'll bet it was.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
He was the kind of guy that would work his way up. The pilot moved to Detroit, one city block away from where I lived.
Oh, yeah?
He moved there because he was from Pittsburgh, and he was a salesman for an office supply company before the war, and he got his job back, and they transferred him to Detroit, where he had a brother living up there anyway. But he ended up in the same neighborhood that I was, and I met him at church at the late mass.
Oh, wow.
Hi, Bill.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Bill, was also another Catholic on our crew. So, Bill, I was going to college at the time, but I had introduced Bill to some other people, and he was still working as a salesman, but the people that I introduced him to were real good high school basketball players, a decent basketball player, and Detroit had a basketball league, and for amateurs.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it was the city of Detroit or the Catholic Youth Organization, whatever it was. But Bill played for that, and well, we had a softball team, but he didn't play it. And then he got transferred to